Okay, so we are done with cost of goods sold forecast. Now we are moving on to SG&A. So here we had macroeconomic, invest CPI, we had CPI and GDP growth. Now in SG&A percentage do not generally change much. It is generally stable or it can improve. So it is generally either stable or it can improve in forecast. In forecast, until and unless we know about significant expansion plans, like until and unless we know company will be hiring additional workers, company has a shortage of labor or something, we do not incorporate an increase. Why? Because these are selling, general and administrative expenses. These are mostly fixed costs. Most of these are not variable in nature and most of these are fixed, like office space, office salaries, worker salaries and all that. So as most of these are fixed in nature, except for selling staff, except for marketing and all that, as most of them are fixed in nature, then generally as size increases, its percentage reduces. But then again, its percentage, we expect this percentage to remain stable or we expect it to reduce. Why? Because we know that if company gets a leverage or if company gets some extra money out of it due to leverage, then company will reinvest it into marketing or will reinvest it into selling. So as company unlocks more money, it will reinvest it. As it unlocks more money, it is reinvested. Until and unless we know that company will have, and until and unless we know that company will not be reinvesting into marketing, we cannot expect a improvement going forward. So if you look into it, we have kept it stable. Why? Because the assumption is that company will generate money out of it with increase in size, but company will reinvest it into advertising and selling, because this company is a marketing company and this company has to keep coming up with new marketing campaigns and selling strategies to push the product through or pull the consumer. So if you look into it, we have kept it stable. Or you can use average of past 3 year, or you can use 2-year average, whatever suits you. Whatever number you use, it wouldn't be much of difference. If I use current year 29%, if I use these three average, again 29%. So if you look into it, average and current year both are same. So average of these three is also 29%. So if I use average of past 3 year, it will again be 29%. So if you look into it, it is not changing on average.
What is 29% is
selling and general and administrative expenses as a percentage of sales.
So that means it's going with the same proportion.
Same proportion. But the question is that it should improve. Why improve? Because company size is growing. But our assumption is that as size grows, company will reinvest into marketing and selling. And how do we know about it? Because we have seen the average, and average also tells me
what about
that it has remained
that is not stable?
constant.
If
Sorry?
it is a growing company. For example, P&G is a mature company. What about a company that is not stable?
Even if a company is not stable, its administrative expenses will benefit from leverage. Why? Because administrative expenses, for example, office expense per unit of per employee. So if employees are increasing, then the assumption is that sales would also be increasing. So per unit of employee or sale per salary would remain be either constant or improve. But yes, there is another key measure to look at. For a growing company, marketing and advertising expenses are huge, and they are generally investing more and more into it. So in that case, you will need to see the plan, company's plan for next 5 years or 4 to 5 years. What is its marketing or advertising agency strategy? Maybe its sales are growing at a low rate, but it is increasing investment into advertising to drive or build the market. In that case, it will go up. In that case, this percentage will go up. Why? Because you know that, for example, I know that company sales will grow at 2% or 3%. Why? Because it has just entered the business, or 5%. So I know that company sale will grow at 5%. It is a new company. So I know that it will have to continue increase its advertising and marketing, and that will increase by 10%. So I know that advertising and marketing will continue to increase by 10%, all else will continue to increase by 5%. That means advertising as a percentage of sales would increase by 5% or whatever the value is. So then you will forecast advertising at this rate and rest of the expenses as stable in as a percentage of sales, and then forecast the total SG&A. So it can vary for company. For stable companies, generally it will be stable. Any problem so far?
So, for example, if a
Yes.
company says that it is going for cost reduction, or it's going to lay off some employees in the future.
Yes,
So,
so then you will take its benefit. So
okay.
if you know that company is driving some savings or company has, and whenever company comes up with such a plan, listed companies come up with such a plan, they also give you a approximate number for savings. So they will also tell you that this will help reduce SG&A this much bits, or this will help generate save 100 million or 200 million, whatever million of savings over this period of time. Then you will phase it out like that. But then again, as an analyst, you should also have another question. Another question is that you should self-evaluate, or you should analyze that whether those savings are being driven by efficiency, or are they will they be a loss to business. So if a company is laying off workers, you should also find out, will that loss of workers, or by laying off workers, would company would be getting any impact on sales or not. So for example, if it has cut down its sales staff by 20%, then I would know that obviously, although there will be savings in bottom line, but I know that sales will also be impacted, because now there are lesser salesmen selling in the market. So then you will have to take an impact on other values, or maybe company has come up with some machinery or some technology due to which it is improving, then there is no impact on other factors. So whatever change you make sure if anything is deviating from stability, then you should have a reason for it. If it is stable, means nothing is changing, but if it is deviating from stability, have a reason backing it.